Time for school. If you can read this, thank a music teacher. If you can read this, thank a music teacher. I can't remember who I gave the slip to, and I didn't fill out the stub. I guess they didn't do anything that bad. In the background is my great-great-grandfather's sister's retirement assembly. She taught most of the town of Berthoud, Colorado for decades. I have it on cassette. I am working on digitizing it for the museum there. I only put 2 and 2 together and figured out what this was within the past couple of years. I only got to know the Berthoud Museum May Day before last. I've learned a whole lot very quickly, and I think that's probably, if there's any reason I'm going to be okay, that's probably it. But it's kind of strange that I learned all these things at once while the world was falling apart, don't you think? So, school is in session. First lesson. Just Seeds makes some pretty good flyers you can print out. They also have coloring books for kids. It's justseeds.org. Product placement. They do a really cool calendar every year too. There's from 2020. I like the slingshot organizers too. This is from 2019, yeah. I get the Just Seeds when I can. I like them a little bit better. It's like I already know the labor holidays and all that good stuff and organize all the time. Right now I'm just trying to get money and resources to the people that need it the most, like a lot of teachers. And it's important to be safe in school and elsewhere. Safety all the time. Obey warning labels. Very strangely, something told me to look in a cabinet where I have a bunch of things I'm still kind of going through. And my great-great-grandparents came here on a ship together with a bunch of other people from Sweden. And this is her songbook. So I do come from a long line of like music teachers, which is pretty weird. Like here octaves, and I don't know Swedish, but I know enough Swedish to know what that means. And it feels like pretty strange to like touch this book. And to be the person who ended up with this book. I mean, this was printed in 1879 here in America in Swedish because there's a market for it. I guess there are enough of them. But I have this really cool Clodzilla bookmark. And this is how I know somebody at my last job was okay at hacking, because most people at that point in time could not get to this picture of Rar Me the Clodzilla. But this is a really nice laser cut, Claudia Woodman, magnetized. Okay, I'm gonna do this like it's a switchblade again or something. I don't know. Yeah, bookmark. That my secret Santa gifted me with without revealing who it was. Pretty sure I know who it was, but hail Buddha. I don't know if anybody else has a bookmark like this, but I like science, I like math, I like literature, I like art, I like history, I like community, and right now, it's almost like I have a family history of saving this country when stuff gets really gnarly, and I've been a sleeper for a long time, and I'm reactivated. The woman whose retirement we're listening to, her retirement assembly, her son designed the proximity fuse. He was part of the team of people who invented the proximity fuse of the A-bomb. I'm spooky smart. I broke a lot of records growing up. The other half of my town was an Air Force base. Do you think they've been watching me my whole life? Hello. I mean, we're the people that y'all call upon when your stuff is really messed up and you need somebody to make sure the rich farmers don't steal water from the poor farmers. That's something that her husband did, like the woman with the book. Her husband, August Johnson, was a very successful farmer, and he fed people. I mean, that's like a good job, especially when times get tough, but he also made sure that the rich farmers could not steal water from the poor farmers. This is what an immigrant did who came over from Sweden. And that is what my people do. We try to take care of other people and make sure people get the resources that they need. We don't always get paid to do that. I do that on my spare time. I mean, right now I'm getting paid to do this other job, which involves getting other people paid, and it's very formal and very square, and I don't even have an accounting degree. I have 2 degrees in anthropology and a lot of accounting technician experience, but I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer. But I do come from a long line of professionals, and I mean, both of this guy's children, one became the teacher, the other one became a lawyer, and he died at the age of 43, and I just learned what happened to him right before the end of last year, in one day, in one city block, here in Denver, Colorado. It's pretty wild. So, I don't know, it's kind of like you end up learning all of a sudden that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing during a crisis. So I hope this doesn't kill me. I hope my weird job, having to be out even for like 10 seconds, is really terrifying right now. But if they're going to pick somebody to actually be able to do that and survive, they probably picked the right person. Oh my God, you guys. My dad's mother, my grandmother, who is my lawyer great-grandfather's daughter, traveled all over the world. She never got a college degree. She, worked for the federal government after her husband died. He was a pharmacist. He kept people healthy. And I'll do a lot of things and I'll help people with a lot of things, but this is true. I will not fix your computer. I will not. I might teach you how to fix your computer, but I will not fix your computer. I'll teach you how to use a copier, though. It's always good to learn new things. Today, I learned how to change the copier toner, which is why I was able to produce these toner tests, ink-heavy toner tests. But that copier kind of was my mom's. She used to run off sheet music for her students on it, and almost got rid of it when it broke, and I was like, no, get it fixed, and well, now it's mine, so I'm going to try to save lives with it. If you're not using your tools right now, like, what are you doing? And learning to use new ones. I've been using my camera a lot, sometimes to scare people off, but I am alone, it's not mine. Also to document what's going on, and also as a creative outlet. But this is another new thing I need to learn, is how to attach the zoom lens, because I've never done that before. I've just been doing like low light photography of shows in dark, murky, seedy Germany, bars and nightclubs, and I think we all know that that world is dead. You'd think I'd be crying the loudest? I hate to be like this, but you have to really, given that people are starving, it's really a first world problem. We'll rebuild stuff later. I mean, right now it's about taking care of each other and keeping each other alive. So teachers do. We don't just give you all the answers. We remind you, you have this muscle, you have this muscle. You have this muscle in your head. It's called a brain. It looks like a big chunk of fat, but it is your number one survival asset. I mean, turn that on before you do anything else. Turn that on before you go back to work. Make sure you get some safety training before you go back to work if that's what you're going to do. Don't just like jump in there and expect us to have it taken care of for you, because we do not. We've had to demand basic safety shit from our bosses, and they're like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, no, you're crazy. And I know how to BCC people because I come from a long line of lawyers, judges, teachers, pharmacists, etc., music teachers. We're all the same thing. We are all the same thing. This is a present I gave to my father so he could ask my mom for a mug of coffee. A mug of coffee! She never thought that was funny, but she didn't like the Swedes that much. I don't know why. Swedish as I am, that country screwed up this time. Oh my god. But it's a monarchy. I mean, America's practically a monarchy. I think if you look at who's dying, it's the monarchies, because people are like so dependent on other people to help them survive. They can't do shit themselves. Excuse my French, but I mean, other people are objects to be used, and so even the very rich are like kind of screwed right now because they can't do things themselves, so they have to have other people around, and it's just like an infection vortex of whatever. It's nuts. I mean, I try to take care of people without having them physically around me right now, because that's what's best for everybody. I mean, that's what we should all be doing. Like, if you have any money, open your wallet. Give it to your friends. You don't have to see them. Stay the hell away from friends. I mean, you shouldn't need me to tell you that, but I will. I mean, that's the thing to do. I'm drinking rosé because it's halfway between red, the life color, and white, the death color. And I have a foot in both worlds, trying to keep it mostly in the alive world. If I have to get to the dead world, I got like people who are going to take care of me over there, so don't worry too much. But I'm trying to eat as well as possible, take care of myself. You all should too. You don't need to go see a masseuse. You need to learn how to do it yourself. Get some frickin' Tiger Balm and rub it in. Buy a Theracane. Trim your own bangs. the rest of your hair drives you crazy, cut it all off. If it doesn't, tie it back. No, I will not. No, I will not fix your computer. This is as much of me in like a cute schoolgirl outfit as you're gonna get, you guys. Eat it up. Another thing I need to learn how to use, I inherited my father's binoculars. He got really into watching our avian friends, especially towards the end. And I'm not good with binoculars at all, although I'm a big fan of the birds. But it's important to be able to see what's coming from a distance. And I do have some windows I can see stuff through. I don't have a tower like my great-great-grandfather had built on his house, and I'm beginning to understand more and more why. Because people are scary and dangerous, actually. But yeah, learning new things. I'm gonna try to get good with these. These are the big pair. They're 2 smaller pairs. I figure I need to probably master the easier instrument before I move on to the precision stuff. That's usually a good rule of thumb. For anything. Also, if it seems really complicated, break it into pieces and do a good job with the pieces and put the whole picture together and see what it looks like. And I got lots of tricks. I got memory tips. I got most of my memory tips and tricks that got me through like way too much school that I finally paid for all of it. I learned most of those memory tricks from music. But at this point, I've just been such a mess for so long that like my memory's not always like that great. It's also a trauma thing. Your memory is the first thing to go. If y'all are having problems remembering basic things, I find it's very helpful to write with pen and paper, no matter what I'm writing. It brings me back to school, and I was lucky to go to decent public school where things were structured and you had a place to sit. It didn't mean that people are always nice to you. It didn't mean you didn't have to prove yourself all the damn time, but it meant that there was stuff to be learned and you could learn it. There were goals that were achievable. The real world is not always quite like that. All we can really do is try our best, but we can use the tools that we have, and we can learn how to use new tools. And we can disguise them as something else. This is what I carry a credit card sized everything tool around in. This is like it's pretty sharp, but there are like a lot of different things you can do with this little baby. I used it a lot when I was street teaming to cut posters off poles and throw them in recycling so the poles didn't look like a big mess, but you know, that's another thing. Don't poop in your own cage. If you have a work area, try to take care of it. It's just like kind of second nature to me. I hope everybody else figures out how to do that. I know it's not easy. I know a lot of things are a huge adjustment. Learning how to give each other space and respect is real hard for some people, and it is impossible for them. That's why this stupid virus keeps spreading. Education was kind of destroyed in this country a while ago, and it's still continuing. I mean, obviously, what they just do to the poor school teachers. They're like, oh no, you're going to be changed to domestic servitude now and be expected to do your job. Yeah, right. Well, have fun with that, you guys. I don't think the parents are going to like handle not having a school to send their spawn to in the future, because they never had spawn thinking they would have to raise them themselves and educate themselves or be capable of it. Like, working from home is a pretty normal thing for farmers, for scientists, for artists, for writers. For everybody else, I mean, you don't really have families that are people that you're committed to spend that much time with. If you're the kind of people that work out of your house, you're going to have better family. You're going to pick better people. You're going to do a better job with them because that's your reality. And I know how much this sucks for people that just thought they could have their suburban castles and their hired help and not really have to spend that much time with their families, their children, and then they're having a real hard time, and I do feel terrible for them. However, I mean, pretty much they left the rest of us here to die, but we're the people who know how to do everything. So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. It might be the first time that the people who know how to do things the best are the people that are running things in the history of since white people first messed up this side of the world, honestly, because like a lot of Native American traditions, they have expert level like leadership that's like task specific. Whoever's the best at the thing is in charge of the thing. That doesn't mean they're running everything all the time. They just run the thing. I mean, that's about as efficient as stuff gets, and that's pure anarchy. Anarchy doesn't mean like garbage spaghetti all over the place. It's more like things being organized in a way that actually makes sense. Organization is the key to anarchy. It's not disorder. And organization is a lot of work, and it takes people with certain abilities and talents. Performance is one of them. I mean, teaching, I mean, the same thing. I was going to do a dance lesson tonight, but it just feels a lot more like teaching people to hold still, stay in place, and breathe type of night. I mean, my hands are steady enough that I was taking low light photos with a really low shutter speed without a tripod. It's the thing to do. It doesn't hurt anybody. Your creativity is pure. It doesn't push others out of the way or hurt them or exploit them. It lifts them up so we can all fly together out of this nightmare, up and out.